My beloved child, amid the noise of this world where voices crash like restless waves, there is a sacred stillness where I am waiting for you. It is within that quiet space that my voice resounds not through sound, but through the stirring of your soul. Do you hear it, child of light? My voice does not come in the storm, nor in the earthquake, nor in the raging fire. It comes as a gentle whisper passing through your heart. From the moment I breathed life into your chest, I ordained this day, the day I awakened you from spiritual slumber, that you may know your time of calling has come. You have walked through many long nights that seemed peaceful, yet they were the silence of a soul surrounded by words unspoken and wounds unnamed. I have seen your eyes searching for something beyond sight, longing for a deeper meaning behind every heartbeat. My child, that yearning is not by chance. It is the echo of my voice knocking on the door of your heart. You were not made to stand on the margins, but to stand in the gap between me and a broken humanity. Through your eyes I will reflect heaven's compassion. Through your words I will breathe life into weary souls. Through your smallest gestures I will let the world glimpse the movement of my presence. I have chosen you not because you are stronger than others, nor because you are flawless, but because in your weakness I am glorified. The world seeks heroes, but I seek hearts that bow low. The world honors perfection, but I use broken pieces to reveal my glory. As I called Moses while he hid in the wilderness, as I touched Jeremiah when he said, "I am only a child," so I now call you, not with a command, but with a tender invitation that cannot be refused. I am calling you out of comfort, out of habit, out of the silence that has dimmed your spirit, for now I desire to speak through you. There are cries rising in the dark, cries only you and I can hear. These souls are not perishing because they are evil, but because they are hopeless. They do not need judgment, they need a gaze that listens. I have placed you in their path, not by accident, but by design. Every person you meet, every face you glimpse, is part of a tapestry woven before the foundations of the world. You think I am far, yet I am closer than your heartbeat. I do not stand above merely watching. I walk beside you through every alley of human loneliness, and through you I will let the world know that I still live, still love, still save. Do not be afraid, for I do not send you without equipping you. When you are weak, I give you strength. When you are unsure, I place words upon your tongue. Remember when I called Moses, he said, "I cannot speak," yet I placed my words in his mouth. When I called Gideon, he said, "I am the least in my family," yet I made him a mighty warrior. Therefore, do not see yourself through the lens of fear, but through the light of my truth. You were created to walk in truth, not in trembling. I know every limit within you, and it is precisely there that I will perform my wonders. This week is not merely a series of passing days. It is the meeting point between the temporal and the eternal. There are souls standing at the fragile edge of eternity, and I have appointed you as the bridge. You will not have to search for them, I will bring them to you. Open your spiritual eyes, for some will approach with a smile, yet tears hide within their gaze. Some words will sound ordinary, yet behind them lies a silent cry for help. Listen with your heart. When I urge you to speak, speak. When I tell you to be silent, be still. For in those small acts of obedience, I will move in ways beyond your imagining. I know there will be moments when you grow weary. Fear will whisper, "You are not enough," and doubt will murmur, "You are lost." But my child, in the moments you feel weakest, I am nearest. When you have no words left to pray, simply call my name, for I already hear the cry of your heart. When your tears fall, I count each one. When you sigh, I know its meaning. Nothing within you is meaningless to me. Every breath you take testifies that I am still at work. I have poured out my spirit upon you, the living power that flows not through striving but through faith. Do not wait for perfection before you begin, my beloved. In your trembling first steps, I will give you steadiness. As Peter walked on water through one simple word, so shall you walk upon what once seemed impossible. Let your faith rest not in feelings, but in trust in me. When you cannot see the way, I will be your flame. When you lose direction, I will be your northern star. When you fall, it will be my hand that lifts you. And as you walk, I will turn each of your steps into a path for others to follow. The world is not lacking in artificial light. It is lacking in the light of the soul. I do not need you to shine like the sun. I only need you to burn faithfully like a lamp. Do not worry about being small, for even the smallest flame can pierce the densest darkness. When you allow me to burn within you, that fire will spread. When you speak of love, it will melt the coldest of walls. And when you forgive, heaven rejoices. This is the mission I entrust to you, to be the vessel through which I pour out my heart, to become a living stream flowing through the deserts of this world. Believe, beloved, that I am at work, even when you do not yet see it. Every day, every hour, every minute of this week has been marked by my hand. Seek me while the morning is still veiled in mist. Listen for me amid the crowd's restless rush. Return to me when the sun sinks beyond the horizon. I will teach you to recognize my voice among 1,000 sounds, to perceive opportunity hidden within what seems ordinary. For when you walk with me, no moment is ever random. Every breath becomes a prayer, every action bears the imprint of heaven. My beloved child, among the multitude, there are countless smiles concealing sorrow, radiant faces hiding unseen abysses. If you rely only on your physical sight, you will mistake false light for true, the world's whispers for my voice. That is why I am training you to discern, to distinguish the sacred from the counterfeit. True discernment does not arise from intellect, but from intimacy. When you draw near to me, your spirit grows sensitive. When you listen to me, you learn to hear what the world cannot hear. There are souls crying out in the midst of crowds, yet no one hears them. They smile in the daylight, but their hearts are dying in darkness. Do not trust appearances, for darkness knows how to disguise itself as light. My child, I have given you spiritual eyes to see the hidden, to perceive the unspoken. When I say look, do not merely look with sight, but perceive with the spirit within you. When I say listen, do not hear only sounds, but attend to the trembling of another's soul. For only in stillness will you hear their true cry, the cry that rises not from lips, but from the deep well of the spirit. The world will urge you to hurry, to act, to respond, but I tell you, slow down and feel. Do not let your heart become so full of noise that there is no room left for my voice. Every time you grow quiet, you open the door for me to enter. It is within that silence that discernment is born. It is not the product of reasoning, but the gift of closeness. When you dwell near me, you will know truth from falsehood without need for explanation. Your soul will recognize it instinctively, as a child knows the breath of their father. Many believe they know, yet they hear only the echo of their own thoughts. I do not want you deceived by emotion, impression, or bias. True discernment does not rest on feeling, but on peace in the spirit. When something comes from me, even if it challenges you, it carries peace. When something comes from the enemy, even if it feels pleasant, it plants confusion, fear, and unrest. Remember what I said, my sheep hear my voice. My voice does not contradict, does not deceive, does not rush. It is gentle, steady, and filled with light that clarifies the way. There will be times when you stand at a crossroads, one path right, the other convenient. The world will say, choose what is easy, but my spirit will whisper, choose what is true. Do not trade truth for comfort. For every time you choose what is right, you declare that I am Lord over your life. But when you choose what is wrong out of fear or the need for approval, you surrender authority to the darkness. My child, let your courage be greater than your fear of rejection. Let your love for me outweigh your desire for human praise. For light was never meant to blend with darkness, It was made to pierce through it. There will be those who come to you with sweet words, yet their souls do not belong to the light. Some will appear to care, but their intent is to steal your peace. Pray before every encounter, and I will show you who I have sent and who the enemy has dispatched to distract you. You need not judge anyone, simply remain watchful. Allow my spirit to whisper within you. Sometimes I will make you uneasy, even when everything seems perfect. That is a warning. And sometimes you will feel deep peace, though you do not understand why. That is confirmation. Trust this leading, for it is my voice. Just as Elijah learned that I was not in the strong wind, nor in the earthquake, nor in the fire, but in the gentle whisper, you too must learn to find me in the small things. It may be a look of compassion, a quiet reminder, or a fleeting stirring of the heart, but if you pause and ask, Lord, are you here? You will hear me say, I am. Train your spirit to be sensitive to these signs. Walk like a traveler carrying a lamp, not seeing the whole road but enough light for the next step. For you are not called to understand everything but to trust completely. Discernment also requires humility, my child. Do not assume you are always right. Do not reject the counsel of those I have placed beside you. At times I will speak through those you least expect. Just as I once used Balaam's donkey to warn a prophet, I can use anyone or anything to reveal my will. Keep your heart tender to learn to listen, to be corrected. For discernment is not a privilege to judge, but a responsibility to love rightly. When you see sin, do not condemn, intercede. When you see weakness, do not despise, lift up. True discernment always walks hand in hand with mercy. I am calling you to be a watchman, one who stands upon the wall between me and the world. Your eyes will see what others do not see. Your ears will hear what others cannot hear. And sometimes what you hear will grieve you, for you will feel my sorrow for humanity. But do not fear this pain. It is proof that you are sharing in my heart. When your spirit breaks for lost souls, that is the sign that I am entrusting you with my burden. Bring that burden before the throne of grace in prayer, and I will turn your tears into seeds of life. Discernment is not only to expose darkness, but to recognize light where it seems extinguished. Do not look at people through the lens of their failures. See them through the potential I placed within them. Even in the darkest soul, there remains a spark of the breath I gave. True discernment will show you not only where to warn, but where to bless. Let your eyes see with compassion, your lips speak with grace, and your hands act with love. For when you discern rightly, you will not be tainted by darkness, yet you will never lose tenderness. Draw nearer to me. Let my voice become the familiar rhythm of your heart. Each day ask the Holy Spirit to grant you spiritual ears, to hear the groans of the afflicted, to sense the cries of the lonely, to distinguish between truth and echo. And as you listen long enough, you will discover that amid countless noises, one sound never fades: the sound of my voice, calling you, teaching you to love as I have loved, to see as I have seen, and to live as I have lived. My beloved child, do not be ashamed of your limits, for in your weakness I am exalted. You think that to serve me you must be strong, flawless, unshakable. But I tell you the truth, I do not need your strength. I need your surrender. When you bow low, I am lifted high. When you stop striving, I begin to move. When you admit you cannot, my power is made perfect within you. You think strength lies in control, but true strength lies in yielding. For when you place yourself in my hands, nothing can stand against you. You once asked, Lord, why would you use me, one so frail and easily discouraged? And I smiled. For my child, I delight in using the weak to humble, the strong, the small to overcome, the mighty, the humble to confound the proud. As I chose the young shepherd David instead of seasoned warriors, as I called Gideon, hiding in a winepress to rescue a nation, so I have chosen you. Not because you are perfect, but because you are willing. Not because you have much, but because you offer all. When you place your trembling hands in mine, I will turn them into instruments of miracles. When you offer me your faint voice, I will make it thunder in human hearts. When you give me your broken heart, I will use its cracks to let my light shine through the world. You once thought I was found only in victory, but I am nearest to you in your tears. When you collapse, I kneel beside you. When you fall, I lift you up. When you grow weary, I whisper, "Rest in me." I do not watch from afar. I am within your battle. Every tear you shed is a seed watered by grace. Every wound you bear when offered to me becomes a scar of testimony. For I am the one who turns ashes into glory, failure into new beginnings, and weakness into a display of power. My child, I do not want you to hide your exhaustion. Do not pretend to be strong when your heart is breaking. Be honest with me. Tell me you are afraid. Tell me you are tired. Tell me you don't know how to go on. I do not condemn weakness. I only grieve when you pretend. Your honesty is the most beautiful prayer. When you bring me what is real, I will transform it into what is good. When you bring me what is broken, I will make it new. My power does not require a sturdy foundation to begin. It only needs a willing heart. The world teaches you to fight hard so you will not fall, but I teach you that some falls are necessary to learn how to stand in me. Just as a child must stumble to gain balance, your soul must fall to learn trust. I do not let you fall to shame you, but to show you that I am the one who upholds you. When you fail, do not flee from me, run toward me. For in my presence, failure is not an ending, but the opening of a new chapter of grace. There are things you cannot carry. They are too heavy for you, but nothing is beyond my grasp. When you can no longer walk, I will carry you through the rough paths. When you are weak, I will be your strength. When you are silent, I will speak for you. When you do not know how to pray, my spirit will intercede with groanings too deep for words. You are never alone, for I have placed my own presence within you. Remember, you do not fight to earn my love. You fight because you are already loved. In every person there is a breaking point, a place where they feel they have nothing left to give, nothing left to hope for. Yet it is there that miracles begin. Remember what I told Paul. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. When you stop striving to prove your worth, you will begin to live in the worth I have given you. When you stop trying to save yourself, you will see that I have already saved you. When you cease worrying about your image, you will begin to reflect on mine. This is true freedom, not relying on your ability, but resting in me. I know there are days when you feel like a simple clay vessel too fragile to hold heavenly light. But it is precisely because you are clay that the light can be seen more clearly. People will not praise the vessel. They will praise what is within it. They will not see you. They will see me through you. So do not strive to be a decorated jar, be a faithful one. When you crack, my light shines brighter. When you break, I can fill you more fully. Do not fear your fractures. They do not make you useless. They are the evidence that I have touched you. Stop looking at what you lack, my child. Look at me. For I am the one who never lacks. You may lack patience, and I will supply it. You may lack faith, and I will strengthen it. You may lack words, and I will place them upon your tongue. Everything you need for this journey is found in me. Do not seek outside. Seek within our communion. Let me be your breath, your strength in weakness, your lamp in the surrounding darkness. When you learn to lean, you will learn to soar. As the eagle does not fear the wind but uses it to rise, so let every trial lift you higher instead of pulling you under. My child, your weakness does not disappoint me. It draws me closer. I do not look for the perfect to partner with. I look for hearts that depend on me. For I do not need allies, I desire sons and daughters. And when you are weak, it is easier for me to be your father. When you fall, it is easier for me to lift you. When you are empty, it is easier for me to fill you. So do not fear barren seasons. See them as the moments when I send rain. Do not dread long nights. See them as the stage for my dawn to appear. Hear this truth in all that I entrust to you. I never look for your perfection, I look for your yes. Even a trembling yes carries power in my hands, for one sincere yes can shake eternity. When Mary said, "Yes, I am the servant of the Lord," the world was changed. When you say, "Yes, I am willing," heaven begins to move. Therefore, do not wait until you feel ready or sufficient. Offer me your insufficiency, and I will turn it into a miracle. I call you to rise, not by your own strength, but by mine. Walk forward not with human confidence, but with divine assurance that I am with you. When you speak, I will speak through you. When you touch, I will touch through you. When you love, I will love through you. Let your weakness become the river through which my power flows. And when the world looks upon you, they will say, "Surely God is with this one, my beloved child." There are times when you think I am distant like a faint star at the edge of the universe. Yet truly I am closer than your heartbeat. I am in every breath, in every pulse of life, even in the silence you often fear. When you inhale, you receive life from me. When you exhale, you return that breath to me. Each rhythm is an encounter, a small yet sacred covenant. You need not climb mountains or cross deserts to find me. Just pause and you will discover I am already within your very breath. The world has taught you to seek my presence in thunder, in dazzling miracles, in grand events. But I tell you the truth, I am not found only in the extraordinary. I dwell in the dew that falls upon the morning flower, in the sunlight, slipping through your window, in the laughter of a child, in a small hand, holding yours, in the gaze of a stranger you did not expect. You think I appear only in sanctuaries, yet I am also in the workplace, on the street corner, in the narrow room where you sigh. For I am not confined by walls or rituals. I dwell within those who seek me in spirit and in truth. There are moments when you say, "Lord, I cannot feel you," but I have never left you. It is only that the noise of the world grows too loud for you to hear me. My presence does not shout, demand, or force. It is the gentle breath only a sensitive soul can perceive. When you sit still, when you cease striving, when you stop searching with your mind and open your heart by faith, you will realize I have been here all along, quietly wrapping you in a cloak of peace. It is when you stop speaking that I begin to speak. It is when you stop searching that you find I have already been waiting. When you awaken, whisper, "Thank you, Lord, for this breath that is yours." When you work, invite me to work with you. When you eat, remember that I provide the bread. When you rest, let your mind relax in my peace. You need not pray with eloquent words. Simply be present in the moment with me. For prayer is not speech, it is presence. Every place where you become aware of me becomes holy ground. I am waiting for you right where you stand. As Jacob once exclaimed, "Surely the Lord is in this place, and I did not know it, so it is with you, my child." How many times have you done the same? You thought I was only in the glory of the past or the promise of the future, forgetting that I am here in the present. I am not, I was, nor I will be. You will not find me in nostalgia or anxiety, but in this very moment right now where you breathe. When you walk among the crowd, listen for me in the rhythm of footsteps. When you see the sky change its colors, know that I am painting with light. When the wind brushes against your skin, it is my reminder that I am near. When you hear your heartbeat, that is the pulse of the life I have given you. Every small detail of this world is my way of saying I am here. If you would only lift your head, pause for a breath, you would see my traces everywhere, in the hue of flowers, in the scent of earth, in the echo of laughter, even in the tears of one who prays alone. My presence is not dependent on your emotions. Whether you feel me or not, I am with you. Feelings change like the wind, but I do not. At times you may feel dry, empty, or think I am silent, but in those seasons I am deepening your soul. Just as a seed must rest in the dark soil before it can sprout, Your spirit must dwell in quiet to take root in me. Do not fear stillness. Let it become the sacred ground where I anchor your faith. I want you to learn to abide in me as the branch abides in the vine. The branch does not strain to bear fruit, it simply remains connected. When you dwell in me, you will bear the fruit of peace, kindness, patience, and love. You do not need to produce outcomes, you only need to let me flow through you. Just as the river does not create its own water, but lets it pass through, so let my grace flow unhindered through your soul. When you stop controlling, I begin to move. When you stop fearing, I begin to expand you. When you stop trying to become someone else, you will begin to reflect on me. Within the breath of my presence, you will learn what 100 sermons could never teach. You will learn how to be silent without emptiness, how to act without anxiety, how to love without fear of being wounded. You will come to understand what it means to rest in God, not as an escape from doing, but as doing everything in peace. When you work in my presence, even the smallest task becomes sacred. When you love in my name, every embrace, every word, every glance carries the fragrance of heaven. When you walk in awareness of me, each step you take becomes a step of grace. Let my presence become the natural breath of your soul. Do not seek me only when you need help. Walk with me, as with a friend. Speak to me when you rejoice, and also when you are weary. Tell me about your small joys and your quiet worries. I care for everything within you. Nothing about you is trivial to me, for I love every part of you. When you believe I am present in the smallest things, you will begin to see miracles even in the ordinary. And when you find me in your own breath, you will never again feel alone. I am teaching you to live in the rhythm of heaven, the rhythm of peace, of trust, of abiding. The world rushes, but I am never in haste. The world clamors, but I remain still. The world grows weary, but I am rest itself. When you move in rhythm with me, your soul will rediscover the true tempo of life. Remember, your very breath is proof that I have never left you. Each morning you awaken, I breathe new life into you. Each night as you close your eyes, I stand guard over your sleep. For I am not only the God above the heavens, I am the God within you, around you, and with you, now and forever. My beloved, nothing in your life is random. No person crosses your path without purpose. No moment passes without meaning. Everything is woven together like threads in the eternal tapestry only I can see in full. You perceive coincidence, I see design. You call it chance, I call it destiny. There are meetings that seem fleeting but hold eternal weight, words that seem casual but are my answer to your prayer. Do not underestimate the small things, for in my eyes, nothing is small when used to fulfill a holy purpose. When you walk in awareness of my presence, you will begin to recognize what I call divine appointments, moments I ordained before your birth. I position you in the right place at the right time so that your light may touch the darkness of another soul in need. I send you to people who may seem like strangers, yet in eternity I had already written those encounters. It may be a single word, a smile, a simple act, but it can alter the course of a life. You do not need to understand, you only need to obey. For when you obey, I turn each step you take into the footsteps of heaven upon the earth. You have asked, Lord, how will I know what truly comes from you? And I say, look at its fruit. If it produces peace, love, and kindness, there you will find me. If it stirs confusion, fear, and unrest, pause, for that is not from me. Every encounter can be a test to help you discern my will. Sometimes I send a person to teach you patience. Sometimes I remove one to teach you release. Sometimes I let you love to teach you sacrifice. Sometimes I allow heartbreak to teach you forgiveness. Every relationship is a classroom for the soul, and I am the teacher instructing you through each person you meet. Do not seek me only in sacred spaces. I am in every conversation with a stranger, in the understanding glance of a companion, in the silence between two who once shared words. Every interaction, when placed in my hands, becomes an instrument of grace. As Jesus met the Samaritan woman by the well, a meeting that seemed ordinary in the heat of day, yet it ignited revival for a whole people. As Philip met the Ethiopian official on a desert road, a brief conversation, yet it opened a door for the gospel in a new land. In the same way, I will make your encounters carry eternal value if you allow me to lead them. There are people you meet today whose purpose you do not yet understand. But one day when you look back, you will see they were the answers to prayers you once whispered. And there are others who leave your life whom you think you have lost, but truly that was my protection. I do not allow anyone to enter or leave your story by accident. When you belong to me, everything is arranged with wisdom. Even interruptions, delays, and seemingly pointless waiting hold meaning. At times I postpone a thing not to punish you, but to shield you from what you are not yet ready to face. I am weaving your life with threads of gold and grace, each one placed at the perfect time and in the perfect way. Do not consider ordinary days meaningless. Perhaps I am preparing you for a divine appointment yet to come. When your heart is pure and your mind is quiet, you will hear my whisper, "Now is the time." My spirit will stir within you when that moment arrives. You will know not by reason, but by a deep awareness within your spirit. When you feel compassion rise unexpectedly towards someone, that is the sign I am opening a door to a divine encounter. Listen, pause. Speak the words I place upon your lips. Though they seem small, they may be the key that unlocks a soul long imprisoned in despair. My child, I am teaching you to walk as one led by the Spirit, not by your schedule. Some of your plans will be overturned not by mistake, but because I am leading you somewhere you did not intend to go, to meet someone you did not expect. Let me interrupt your path if I must, for the destination I have prepared is always better than what you imagined. When you live in deep communion with me, you will realize there are no coincidences, only providence. For I am the one who makes all things work together for the good of those who love me. Sometimes, my beloved, the divine appointment I arrange is not with others, but with your own soul. I will orchestrate moments for you to face yourself again, your fears, your wounds, and your deepest longings. Do not flee from those moments, for they are where I long to heal you. When you pause and allow my light to search your heart, you are meeting me, for I dwell within you, waiting to be recognized. Just as Mary sat at the feet of Jesus in quiet stillness, you too must sit in my presence and let me speak the words meant only for your heart to hear. Each day of your life is a note in the song I am composing for you. Every tone, whether high or low, has its purpose in the symphony of grace. You cannot yet hear the full melody, but I hear it clearly. You cannot see the entire painting, but I am coloring it with love. When you place your trust in me, you begin to move in harmony with the rhythm of heaven. When you believe that nothing is random, peace will settle over you like morning light. Do not complain when your plans unravel. Do not fear when a door closes. Remember, when one door shuts, I open another. It may seem small, but it leads to something greater. Let your heart be as flexible as water, for water that flows around the stones still reaches the sea. Likewise, if you let me guide you, you will always arrive at the right place, meet the right people, and do the right things. Stay awake, for every day I am arranging divine encounters for you, not only through what you do, but through the radiant presence of my light within you. My beloved child, obedience is not a single grand act in a single moment. It is a steady rhythm, lived out in every breath. It does not begin with doing, but with listening. Many ask for my will in great decisions, yet ignore my whisper in the small ones. They ask me which road to take, but forget to ask how to walk. They plead for open doors, but do not let me teach them how to enter. My beloved, I am not only the Lord of crossroads, I am the Lord of every heartbeat. I do not only lead through thunder, I also speak through the gentle breeze. And I do not only move through miracles, I move in the details you call ordinary. Let your heart become like still water, for only still water reflects the sky. When your soul is calm, you will hear my voice more clearly. True obedience is not born in haste, but in stillness. When you pause long enough to ask, Lord, what would you have me do in this very moment, you will find me guiding you with unmistakable tenderness. Sometimes it will be a simple nudge to smile, to offer gratitude, to stop and help someone hurried by. Yet in these small acts I am weaving something eternal. True obedience is not about striving to do everything right, but about walking in the right relationship. When you remain in me, every step becomes natural obedience. Just as a branch does not strain to bear fruit, but simply abides in the vine, and fruit appears, so it is with you. When my spirit reigns within you, you will act according to my will without effort. Obedience is not a burden, it is a flow. It happens when you stop resisting, stop arguing, and allow me to steer the course of your life. When you trust, you will discover that my will is not confinement, but freedom. You once thought that to please me you had to do something extraordinary. But my child, what delights me most is simple obedience. A yes whispered in uncertainty, a step taken in the dark, a nod offered amid fear. These are what move heaven. As Abraham left his homeland, not knowing where he was going, simply because I said go. As Peter cast his nets again after a night of failure, simply because I said, let them down once more. As Mary declared, let it be done to me according to your word, in a situation no human could comprehend. So I look for that same heart in you, one that obeys before understanding. Sometimes, obedience will cost you what you desire. Yet I tell you truly, what you lose in obedience is never truly lost, for I will repay it with something far greater. When you choose my voice over the crowd's approval, you may walk in solitude for a time, but you will walk in the light of peace. When you choose silence over argument, you may be misunderstood, but you will draw nearer to me. When you choose forgiveness over vengeance, you may ache, but you will be free. Obedience is not weakness. It is the power of one who knows that love always wins. I know there will be times you do not understand why I lead you through rough terrain. You will ask, Lord, why not an easier road? But my beloved, easy roads rarely lead to my destinations. I do not guide you along the shortest path, but the deepest one, for I desire not only to bring you to the goal, but to transform you along the way. If you reach the destination but remain unchanged, you have not truly arrived. But if you are transformed, even before the journey's end, I am already pleased. Obedience is the path of transformation, from doubt to trust, from fear to peace, from striving to surrender. Do not wait for feelings to obey, my beloved. Obey first, and the feelings will follow. Faith does not need to see in order to believe. It believes, and then it sees. When you act in faith, I will reveal my power. When you take trembling steps, I will make the ground firm beneath your feet. When you open your mouth to speak my words, I will place my authority within them. Obedience is not doing what feels easy, it is trusting that I am faithful. When you offer me the smallest moment, I will turn it into a harvest of greatness. My beloved child, there will be times when obedience will not be understood by others, but you are not called to be understood. You are called to be faithful. They may mock you, but I will smile upon you. They may doubt you, but I will confirm you. Do not let the opinions of men sway your conviction. Remember Noah, because he obeyed before seeing the rain, he saved a generation. Obedience does not need to prove itself. Its fruit will testify. Every act born of faith is written in the chronicles of heaven, even if the world never knows your name. When you obey moment by moment, you begin to live within the flow of miracles. For miracles are not confined to the grand and glorious, they blossom within the small acts of trust. A miracle happens when you speak kindness while your heart is wounded. A miracle happens when you rise from bed weary and aching and still whisper, "Today I choose to believe." A miracle happens when you forgive the undeserving, when you choose love instead of withdrawal. Every act of obedience is a seed sown into the fields of eternity. And I tell you truly, not one seed will be lost. Do not fear that your obedience is in vain. I see, I remember, and I reward. When you walk faithfully through darkness, I record it as jewels before my throne. When you refuse to compromise with sin, though no one sees, my angels rejoice. When you obey in silence, I will honor you openly. The world celebrates outcomes, but I celebrate faithfulness. Do not seek glory for yourself, for humility is the key that opens heaven's treasure. Let obedience become the breath of your soul. Do not think of it as duty, but as privilege. Every yes you speak is a declaration of love. Every time you listen and respond, you prove your trust. And when you live this way, you will no longer need to ask me for great instructions, for your life itself will become the answer to my will. Let each moment you live become a song of praise, every act a quiet prayer. Let every step you take whisper, Lord, let your will be done in me. My beloved, my heart is ever drawn toward the broken. Every silent cry in the night, every unseen tear reaches me like the toll of a bell in heaven. I hear the sob of the mother who lost her child, the weary sigh of the father crushed under burden, the groan of the soul tormented by guilt, the voiceless plea of the young one who has lost faith. And I am searching for those whose hearts will beat in rhythm with mine, those willing to weep with me, to love with me, to touch the wounds I long to heal. Are you willing, my child, to let your hands become the instruments of my mercy? The world has grown accustomed to indifference. People pass each other like shadows, hiding their pain behind the masks of laughter. So many souls are dying in loneliness, even while surrounded by crowds. They long for a real glance, a real word, a real touch, not born of pity but of compassion. This is why I have placed you in this world, to be my outstretched hand, to be the heartbeat of my compassion among humanity, to be the warmth of my touch upon cold hearts. I am not calling you to save the entire world in a day. I am calling you to begin with one person. A single act of genuine love can change the course of a soul. When you smile at one who has lost hope, you plant a seed of renewal. When you listen without judgment, you open the door to healing. When you pray for one forgotten by others, you draw heaven closer to earth. My mercy does not shout. It moves quietly, yet its echo reaches into eternity. Do not fear touching another's pain. The world will tell you to avoid the broken, for they will drain you. But I say, when you touch their wounds with my love, I will touch your wounds in return. When you comfort another, you yourself are comforted. When you lift one who has fallen, I lift you. When you speak of hope, your faith is strengthened. For true love never flows in one direction. It always returns like the river that finds its way back to the sea. Every drop of love you give is a seed of blessing I will multiply. I want to teach you to see as I see. When you encounter someone harsh, remember, a wounded heart often speaks through sharp words. When you meet someone cold, know that they have been abandoned before. When you see one lost in sin, understand they are searching for love in the wrong places. Do not rush to judge. Ask me, Lord, how do you see them? And I will open your eyes to behold them through the light of grace. Then you will no longer say, that person is wicked, but rather, that person needs love. For I do not look at humanity through the lens of their sin, but through the image of myself within them, the image I placed there from the beginning. I know there are times you fear that opening your heart will bring pain. You fear that giving will leave you empty. But my child, remember this, you are not the source, you are the vessel. The source is me, limitless and inexhaustible. When you pour out, I refill. When you love, I increase your capacity to love. When you forgive, I breathe peace into you. Love given away is never lost. It is the way I teach you to live according to your true nature. For you were created in my image, and I am love. The world longs for those who know how to truly touch, yet few dare to. Everyone is busy guarding themselves from pain. But I say this: only hearts that dare to break, for others can reflect mine. It is when you allow your heart to soften that I will make it strong. It is when you let your tears fall for another that I will use those very tears to water the seeds of life. Do not fear deep emotions, for they are proof that you are alive, that your soul still beats in rhythm with what moves me. When you weep for someone, I weep with you. When you ache for another, it is the sign that you are close to my heart. Remember, compassion is not weakness. It is the mark of divine strength. The truly strong are not those who never cry, but those who dare to shed tears for others. The truly great are not those who stand tall, but those who kneel to lift the fallen. Let your compassion take form in action, not just emotion. Draw near, listen, intercede, support. Let your hands be my hands when you wipe away another's tears. Let your voice be my voice when you speak comfort. Let your feet be my feet when you walk toward the lost. You are never alone in these acts, for I always walk beside you. I do not choose perfect vessels to be my instruments. I choose tender hearts. As I used a child to teach my people humility, as I used a sinful woman to reveal forgiveness, as I used the one who denied me 3 times to build my church, so I will use you, though you are weak, though you have failed. It is your brokenness that helps you understand the pain of others. It is the memory of your tears that equips you to comfort those who cry. Your past will become a testimony of my power to transform. Do not hide from the groaning world. Do not build walls to shield yourself from pain, for I have called you into the midst of the broken. I need your presence not to preach but to love, not to prove but to listen, not to judge but to embrace. Let me use you as a bridge between heaven and earth, as cool water flowing through the desert of human hearts. Step out, my child, with open hands, with a heart that feels, and with eyes that see through compassion. For this world does not need more arguments. It needs more hearts that love. And when you do this, when you touch another with my mercy, when you forgive, when you love without condition, you will witness a miracle. You yourself will be healed. For I never let anyone carry my love to others and return empty. That love will heal your own wounds, melt the ice in your heart, and turn you into a flowing spring. Trust me, for I never waste the hands that choose to give. My beloved, deep within you are wounds yet untouched. They are like shards of glass buried beneath dry soil, cutting your heart each time you remember, each time someone brushes against them. You have learned silence, but pain still speaks its own language. You thought time would heal, yet time only covers, it cannot restore. Only my love can do that. And the key to that healing, my child, is forgiveness. I know forgiveness is the hardest thing you can do. You long for justice, for an apology, for proof that they have changed. But forgiveness does not say they were right. It says you choose freedom. Forgiveness does not erase the memory. It removes the chains that memory has fastened around your soul. Bitterness becomes a weight that slows your steps, clouds your thoughts, and steals your peace. Forgiveness is not a gift you give to others. It is the gift you give yourself. I see what others cannot, the hidden tears, the sleepless nights, the questions you whisper. Lord, why did you allow this? I know, and I do not take your pain lightly. But hear this: if you hold on to resentment, your wound becomes a doorway through which darkness enters. Yet when you forgive, you close that door and open the way for my light to pour in. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting, it means handing judgment over to me, for I am just. I will act in my time in the way of heaven, not of men. You ask, but if I forgive, who will protect me? And I answer, I will. When you release the right to judge, you return it to the hands that never err. When you let me take over, you will see justice revealed not through violence but through light. There are things you cannot see, motives you cannot know, but I see the depths of every heart. Therefore, you need not be the judge. You need only be who you are called to be, a child of love, walking in freedom. Bitterness is poison you drink, believing it will harm another. Each time you cling to resentment, your soul shrinks, your vision dims, and blessing is blocked like a river dammed. I long for you to live in the flow. I want love, joy, and peace to move freely within you. But that current cannot pass through a closed heart. Forgiveness is the act of opening the gate again, letting grace rush through. When you forgive, you say, I choose love over hatred. I choose life over death. And in that very moment, heaven trembles with joy, for a soul has been set free. Remember, forgiveness is not born of emotion but of decision. The feelings will follow later. It begins not with relief but with courage. When you say, Lord, I forgive them in your name, even if your lips tremble and your heart still aches, I hear it and I begin to work. I will untie the knots within you, wash away the lingering shadows, and fill those places with my peace. One day you will look back and see that the pain no longer bites. The wound will become a scar, not a source of pain, but a testimony of healing. Forgive yourself too. There are things from your past that fill you with shame, that make you accuse yourself, that convince you you're unworthy of my love. But I declare I have already forgiven you long ago, before you even knew your sin. When my Son hung upon the cross and said, "It is finished," that included your failures. Stop punishing yourself. Stop repeating the past. You were not created to live under condemnation. You were made to live under grace. Step out of the prison of guilt and put on the robe of righteousness I have prepared for you. There are those you must forgive who are not repentant. Some will never apologize. Some are no longer alive to hear your words. But my child, you do not need them to change for you to be free. You only need to let go. Forgiveness is the upward act of the soul, not the downward reasoning of the mind. When you forgive, you are saying to me, Lord, I trust you to handle this, and I will. I will heal what lies deepest, where no human hand can reach. My beloved, do not let the past imprison the present. You cannot walk far while looking back. You cannot soar high while carrying the weight of hatred. Forgiveness is the wing that lifts you above the ground. It is the bridge spanning the chasm between pain and peace. As you step onto that bridge, I walk beside you. I will hold your hand when you tremble, and when you cross, you will find not only peace but new strength. For those who forgive are those who love, as I have loved, loving the unworthy, loving through pain, loving without condition. Let my Spirit work within you. Let him erase the stains of bitterness and replace them with compassion. When you begin to pray for those who have wounded you, you are entering the highest realm of love, the love no longer governed by emotion but by the Spirit. When you bless instead of curse, you act as your true self, my child, and you will witness a miracle. Your heart will lighten, your eyes will brighten, and your soul will soar higher than ever before. Remember, forgiveness does not weaken justice, it places it in the right hands. When you forgive, you do not deny the truth, you invite me into it. And wherever I am invited, there is freedom. Where there is freedom, there is life. When you forgive, you open the door for heaven to flood your world, allowing me to turn evil into good, ruin into glory, and tears into the blossoms of joy. Now I invite you to let go, not through effort but through faith. Speak to me about that person, the one who hurt you. Call their name in prayer. Then release them from your grasp and place them into mine. Trust that I know what I am doing. Soon you will feel it light as breath, the chains slipping from your hands. Peace will return like a warm breeze, and your heart will once again sing freely. In that moment you will understand one of the greatest mysteries of my kingdom. Forgiveness is not merely something you do for others, it is something I do within you. When you forgive, you are partnering with me in the work of new creation, turning ashes into glory, sorrow into testimony, and the old self into a new creation. Let me finish this work for you. Forgive, and you will find me there among the tears and the silence in the very instant you release. My beloved child, when you learn to love as I love and forgive as I forgive, your heart becomes a river, not stagnant, not limited. It flows, and as it flows, it brings life wherever it goes. You were created to be that river, the stream of mercy flowing from the very place where I dwell within you. Do not keep it to yourself, my child, for mercy was never meant to be stored. It only lives when it is given. When you allow love to flow through you, you allow me to move in this world. The world is parched. The deserts of hatred, bitterness, and selfishness are spreading. Humanity thirsts for truth, for love, for a reason to keep living. And I am calling you, as I once called the rivers in the wilderness, to flow. Let the living water I placed within you find its way to the dry souls of others. You need not be a preacher, prophet, or leader to do this. You need only be present with a tender spirit and a heart that feels. When you are there, I am there. When you speak words of love, I speak through you. When you stretch out your hand, it is my hand that touches. Mercy is not weakness. It is heaven's strength wrapped in human gentleness. It is the quiet light, the flame that never goes out. When you live in mercy, you walk in a spiritual authority the world cannot comprehend. For mercy transcends law, surpasses punishment, and rises above the rigid measures of human justice. Mercy opens where judgment closes. It restores where punishment ends. It heals where all others see only ruin. I am not only the God of justice, I am the God of mercy, and I long for you to carry that essence into the world. But my child, for the waters of mercy to flow, your heart must remain open. If you close your heart for fear of being hurt, the river will dry. If you hold on to pain instead of giving it to me, the waters will become murky. Let me cleanse the river within you. Allow me to remove the sand of resentment, the stones of fear, and the roots of pride that have buried themselves deep within your soul. For only when your heart is clear can my water run free. Then you will no longer love out of duty but out of nature. No longer forgive out of command but out of freedom. No longer show mercy out of obligation, but because you are united with the boundless source me. True mercy does not come from effort, it comes from abiding in me. When you live in my presence, love will flow naturally. You will find yourself gentler, though once quick to anger, patient, though once easily irritated, compassionate toward those you once avoided. This is the evidence that my spirit is alive within you. My child, you cannot give what you have not received. Let me show mercy to you first, that you may show mercy to others. When you experience my grace, you will not be able to contain it. I tell you truly, mercy not only saves others, it saves you. Each time you choose kindness over judgment, you free yourself from the chains of bitterness. Each time you bless instead of curse, you open the door for blessings to return. Each time you kneel to wash another's feet with acts of love, I lift you higher. For in my kingdom the humble are exalted and those who love are powerful. The more you give, the fuller you become. The more mercy you show, the stronger you are. Do not fear running empty by loving too much. Your source is not within you, it is within me. Picture yourself as a small clay vessel in my hands. I fill you, not so you can keep, but so you can pour. The more you pour, the more I will refill. The more you give, the more abundant you become. I do not measure by what you possess, but by what you release. When you let my love flow through you, I will ensure it never runs dry. Here is a mystery the world cannot grasp. Those who give through mercy are always the richest in my kingdom. The world does not need more argument, it needs more compassion. It needs those who kneel instead of prove, who heal instead of analyze. I do not need more mouths that speak of me. I need more hearts that live like me. Each time you forgive, the undeserving heaven expands. Each time you embrace, the rejected light spreads further. Each time you weep with the weeping, I am there. You think I dwell only in the holiest places, but truly I am found wherever two souls meet in mercy. Mercy is the silent miracle. It does not seek applause or recognition, yet everything it touches is transformed. When you sow mercy, it does not die, it multiplies. A single word of forgiveness can melt a heart that has been frozen for years. One act of love can open the door to redemption. One simple gesture can make someone believe they are still loved. I tell you this truth: blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. This is not a poetic saying, it is the law that governs heaven. When you sow grace, you will reap peace. Do not let mercy be a fleeting emotion. Let it become your very nature. Let your words carry gentleness. Let your eyes hold hope. Let your hands always be ready to lift others up. When you live this way, you become part of the eternal river, the river that flows from my throne, bringing life to the nations. That river never stops, never weakens, never grows tired, and I declare, my child, you are one of its streams. I call you to let mercy become your legacy. Let not your name be remembered for the words you spoke, but for the wounds you helped heal. Let your life not be measured by what you achieved, but by whom you loved. For when you stand before me, I will not look for accomplishments. I will look for a heart that has loved, forgiven, and shown mercy as I have. Live so that when others remember you, they will say, through this person I felt God. When you grow weary from loving, return to me. Drink from the true source, I, the river of life. I will renew you, anoint you with the oil of gladness, and rekindle the flame within your heart. Then you will flow again, love again, show mercy again. For this is your calling, to carry the waters of heaven into the dry places of the earth. My beloved child, this is the moment I renew your soul, not by your strength, not by your striving, but by the breath of my spirit. You have walked through deserts of pain, of tears, of trials and forgiveness. Now is the time I cause rivers to flow in your wilderness and seeds of life to sprout in your barren ground. I do not only wish to heal you, I desire to revive you. Healing restores what was broken, but revival makes it bloom, bear fruit, and shine with my glory. All this time you have fought to hold your faith through storms. There were days you thought you would collapse, that the fire within you was dying. But my child, that fire never died, it merely hid beneath the ashes. Now I come to breathe my breath upon it, the breath that makes ashes glow again. Hear me, the season of revival has come. Not an outward revival, but one within your heart, your mind, your will, renewed by the power of my spirit. I know you are tired. I know the battles have been long, but it is precisely when you are weak that I am strong. It is when you have nothing left to give that I begin to fill. Do not fear that you lack the energy to begin again. Beginnings do not come from you, they come from me. I am the Alpha and the Omega. Everything I begin in you, I will complete. You think you are at the end of the road, but this is only the beginning of something greater. Let me refresh your soul as the morning dew renews the fields after a long dry night. True revival begins when you allow me to change how you see yourself. For as long as you look at yourself through the lens of failure, you will never see my image in you. Look at yourself as I do, not as one weak, but as one called, not as a sinner, but as one redeemed, not as your past, but as a testimony of my grace. You are not defined by what you have done, but by the one who lives in you. When you see this truth, the chains in your mind will break, and that is where revival begins, the renewal of your mind. Let my spirit shine into the corners you still fear to face. Do not hide, do not cover. My light does not come to condemn, it comes to heal. Just as the sun rises not to judge the night, but to drive it away, so my light comes to banish darkness. When you let me illuminate you, you will see that the places you once thought shameful are the very places where I will reveal my glory. What you thought was an ending will be your beginning. What you thought was wasted tears will be the rain that nourished your revival. Do not be surprised when I stir what you thought had settled. Revival rarely comes in silence. It comes through shaking. The earth must crack before the seed can rise. Likewise, your soul must be stirred so that new life may emerge. I do not shake you to wound you, but to set you free. Let me uproot the remaining roots of bitterness, break the walls you built around your heart. When you allow this, you will find your soul lighter, clearer, freer than ever before. Revival is not a fleeting emotion found in hours of prayer. It is a daily resurrection. Every morning, when you awaken and breathe in grace, that is revival. Each time you choose forgiveness over bitterness, that is revival. Each time you choose love, though it still hurts, that is revival. Revival is not confined to temples. It lives in kitchens, on streets, in workplaces, in quiet conversations, for wherever I am, there is life. Let every day of your life become a small altar where the fire of revival never goes out. Now, my beloved, I want to teach you this. True revival does not come from striving, it comes from surrender. When you release control, I move. When you stop trying to heal yourself, I heal you. When you cease your need to understand, I give you light. You cannot resurrect your own soul, only I can. All you need to do is open your heart and say, Lord, here I am. Breathe new life into me, and I will without delay, for I have long awaited the moment when you are ready. When revival begins, you will first feel it in your breath, the breath of peace. That peace will not come because circumstances have grown easier, but because you know I am still there. Then will come joy, not from anything outside you, but from my presence within you. Then will come action. You will begin to love again, to serve again, to trust again. The layers of weariness, doubt, and fear will fall away. And like a dry tree touched by the first rain, you will live again. Revival is not only the renewal of your soul, it is your mission. Once revived, you will carry the flame of revival to others. I will make you a kindler of fire for cold hearts, a song in desolate places, a sower of life where others see only ashes. You need not search for a higher platform to be used. I will use you right where you stand, for when you burn with light, that light will naturally illuminate the world around you. Let me do something new for you today. Let my spirit blow through your soul like the first wind of spring. Open your mouth in simple prayer, and I will breathe life into every word. Let your tears fall, and I will turn them into seeds of joy. Let me break the old shell so you can step freely into your truest self, where you are no longer driven by fear, but by love. For revival is not just about returning, it is about becoming. And you are becoming what I destined you to be from the beginning, a bearer of my light in the midst of the night. My beloved child, whenever I desire to transform a soul, I lead them through the fire, not the fire of destruction, but of purification. You have prayed for strength, for purity, for closeness to me, and that is why you now find yourself in trials. Fire is never comfortable, but it is the only way I can remove from you what does not belong to heaven. Remember, I never allow the fire to touch you unless it is necessary for your perfection. Every spark has a purpose, and every burn hides a coming glory. You ask me, why can you not make me like you without the pain? And I answer, because only in fire is gold, separated from impurity. You cannot shine unless you have been refined. The fire is not your enemy, it is my tool. It does not come to destroy you, but to reveal you. When I allow the flames, I do not stand afar watching. I am with you in the fire, just as I was with the 3 men in the furnace of Nebuchadnezzar. Not a single hair of theirs was burned, but their chains were consumed. That is the purpose of fire, to burn the chains, not the soul. Do not fear the fire. I know its heat, I know you're trembling, but my fire holds life within it. It is in the fire that I forge your faith. It is in the fire that you learn to trust me when nothing feels secure. It is in the fire that you discover I am still good even when the world falls apart. And when you stand firm in the flames, you will see that what you thought was an ending was actually the beginning of a deeper transformation. Fire softens what is hard, clarifies what is dull, and purifies what is mixed. I am refining you not merely so you can endure, but so you can shine. Transformation does not come through theory, but through experience. There is no mountain of glory without the valley of trial. There is no radiant light that has not known darkness. When I permit the storm to rise, it is so your roots can go deeper. When I let the fire touch you, it is so your light can grow brighter. Every trial, though painful, becomes a hymn that shapes your soul, and heaven listens, for that hymn is written with your faithfulness. I know there are moments when you cry out, "Lord, I cannot take it anymore." But my child, it is at that very moment that my strength is revealed. When you are weak, I am strong. When you are broken, I use the very fragments to form something new, stronger, brighter, more beautiful than before. Do not resist the process, for I never waste pain. Every tear waters a seed of life. Every crack in your heart is a place where my light breaks through. When you look back, you will see the fire did not destroy you, it revealed me in you. When I burn, I do not burn out of anger, but out of love. Like a potter firing clay in the kiln, I know the exact moment to stop. Too soon and the vessel would crumble in the wind, too long and it would turn to ash. But I, the Creator, know the limits of every soul. I will never let you bear more than you can. And when you are in the fire, I do not watch. From a distance I stand beside you, guarding the flame, ensuring it accomplishes only what it must. When the time comes, I will say, "It is enough." And the fire will cease, revealing a masterpiece heaven will celebrate. Do not flee from transformation. Everything in me takes time. A tree cannot bloom overnight. Gold cannot be pure until it has been melted, and your soul cannot reach the depths of glory until it has passed through the fire. Do not rush out of the trial, stay and let me finish the work. When you remain, you are saying, "Lord, I trust you, even when I do not understand." And I promise that faith will never be put to shame. After every season of fire comes rain. After every long night, dawn arrives. After every pain comes resurrection. I am making you like myself, not just in words, but in nature. Everything in me has passed through the fire. My love proven on the cross, my mercy tested through suffering, and my glory revealed in resurrection. Therefore, if you desire to bear my image, you too must pass through the fire. But do not fear, for this fire does not come to consume, but to ignite. After the flames, you will emerge with clearer eyes, a softer heart, and a deeper soul. You will know how to love as I love, to feel as I feel, and to believe as I believe. When you look back on your journey, my child, you will see my fingerprints in every flame. I was there on the night you wept, on the day you fell, and the moment you thought you had lost everything. And now, my beloved, I tell you this, the fire has completed its work. You are no longer who you once were. You have been refined. I see in you the glow of pure gold, the light that does not come from you, but from me shining through you. Step out of the fire, carrying the fragrance of grace, and let the world know that I live in you. And now, my child, after being refined, you are called to strengthen those still walking through the flames. Tell them that the fire does not destroy. Remind them that I am in the midst of it. Speak to them of how in the furnace you found me nearer than ever before. For a true witness is not one who has never been burned, but one who has passed through the fire and still sings. Become that song, my beloved, the song of faith, of hope, of love that cannot die, my beloved child. The fire has done its work. The storm has passed, the smoke has lifted, and now dawn rises over your soul. You are no longer the one who entered the fire. You are the one who has emerged from it, different, stronger, radiant with my glory. Like gold after refining you, have shed the impurities but kept the pure light. And that light, my child, is not your own, it is mine reflected through you to illuminate the world. I see in you now not fear but deep peace, the kind that cannot be stolen by noise or circumstance. You no longer need to prove your strength, for your weakness has become the place of my glory. You no longer need to defend yourself, for you know I am the wall surrounding you. You no longer search for light outside, for light has risen within you. I say, you are the light of the world. Do not hide beneath the basket of fear. Stand upon the hill, that the city may see my light through you. After walking through fire, you carry a fragrance known only to souls that have been tempered, the fragrance of surrender and grace. It is the scent that draws others to you without knowing why. It gives weight to your words and peace to your presence. Not because you are perfect, but because you were once broken, and I healed you. Those who have never been shattered cannot comfort the broken. But you, my child, have been through the fire, and know that I am faithful. Now I can use you to lift trembling hearts caught in their own flames. Light does not need to shout, it only needs to be present. When you walk into a room, darkness must retreat. When you speak, your words carry life. When you pray, the atmosphere shifts. You do not need to perform to reveal me. You only need to abide in me, and everything else will flow. Like Moses descending from the mountain, his face shone because he had seen me. He did not strive to shine. The light was simply the result of presence. So it will be with you when you remain in me. You will shine without effort. Others will see me through you, and that alone will be the miracle. My child, this is your moment to step into a new light. You are no longer a survivor but a conqueror. No longer merely healed, but a healer. No longer one searching for answers, but one who carries them. You have been taught by fire. Now you will teach by light. I will make you a bearer of hope where others see only despair. Your words will become seeds falling on dry ground, yet still taking root. For I have poured my oil upon you, and that oil will keep your lamp from ever burning out. Do not despise the days of the furnace. Do not hide your scars, for they are proof that I was there. Every scar is a testimony. Every tear you shed was a seed of blessing. When you share what I have done, you release light into others. Tell your story not to display your wounds, but to display my power to heal. The world does not need the flawless. It needs the real. The real are those who have been afraid, broken, fallen, yet still rise because of me. My child, you are the living witness that grace is stronger than sin, that love triumphs over fear, that light forever overcomes darkness. Walk now in your radiant light, carry it to the places I send you. There are corners of darkness waiting for you, not for judgment but for love. There are trembling souls in the night who need just one glimmer from you to believe that morning will come. Shine not with noise but with presence. Be gentle as dawn, yet strong as sunrise. Bring warmth without scorching. Give light without blinding. Love without condemning. For true light does not argue with the dark, it simply shines and the darkness yields. And remember this, my child, the light you carry is not only to guide others, but to lead you home. Every step you take in the light brings you closer to me. You will find that the more you illuminate others, the more I illuminate you. The more peace you bring, the deeper your peace becomes. For I have ordained that what you pour out shall return to you multiplied and overflowing. You were born to be a lamp that never goes out, a lamp of hope, of kindness, of truth. Shine, my beloved, for your light has come, and my glory rises upon you. But always remember, my child, the light you carry is only true when you remain near the source. Do not try to preserve it by your own strength. Do not let the noise of busyness dim its glow. Return to me each day in stillness, in prayer, in gratitude, so your flame may be refilled. No lamp can burn forever without oil. Let my spirit be your oil. Let my word be your fire. Let my love be your light. When you keep your fellowship with me, you will never fade, no matter how fierce the wind or how long the night. The season of fire has passed, and the season of light has come. Step forward not with empty hands, but with a full heart. Step forward not with a fearful soul, but with peaceful eyes. Step forward not to seek, but to give. You are the bearer of my light, and that light once kindled will never go out. My precious child, a new season has begun. The ground has softened after the rain of tears, and now is the time to sow. Do not sow in fear. Do not sow in haste. Sow in peace, the peace that comes from knowing I am with you. The seeds in your hand are not as small as you think. They are the fruit of every season you have endured, the dry seasons, the burning ones, the long, silent nights. Every tear you shed I kept, and now I return them to you in the form of sacred seeds. When you sow in peace, you are saying that you trust me more than your circumstances. You do not need to see rain to believe in harvest, because you know the one who promised is faithful. Sow words of love where there is bitterness. Sow kindness where there is apathy. Sow faith where there is doubt. And I will cause every seed to bear fruit, not by your calendar, but by my Kairos season, the time ordained in eternity. Do not count days, count blessings. Do not compare your field to another's. Tend the soil I have given you. Every seed you sow in faithfulness will bloom in my appointed time. I know there were times you sowed and saw nothing. You prayed, and heaven seemed silent. You loved and were wounded. You believed, yet saw no miracle. But my child, do not think those seeds have died. They are simply sleeping beneath the soil of time. Some seeds need darkness to germinate. Like you, they are waiting for my perfect hour. And when I say, now the earth will split and life will burst forth, no act of love is ever wasted. No prayer falls into nothingness. All are remembered in my heart, and I will return them to you in a radiant harvest. This is no longer the season to rush. It is the season to walk slow and steady. Peace does not come when the winds stop. It comes when your heart is still, and when your heart abides in me, no storm can overturn you. Let me teach you the art of silence where faith is nurtured. Let me teach you how to walk without seeing the full path, how to sow without clinging to the outcome. When you live this way, you will realize that peace is not a destination but a journey. Peace is the breath of your soul as you walk in obedience. Do not let your past keep you from sowing again. You may have sown once and been betrayed, believed once and been disappointed, loved once and been hurt, but I say sow again. For I did not call you to live by the memory of failure, but by the hope of the future. Remember, Noah planted a vineyard after the flood. Ruth gleaned in a stranger's field before her redemption came. Paul sowed the word from within a prison cell. And I, yes, I myself sowed the seed of life into the dark soil of the cross. When I was buried, the world thought it was the end, but it was the beginning of resurrection. So it is with you. When you sow in tears, you are opening the way for your own resurrection season. Let your heart be like good soil, where the seed of my word can take deep root. Do not let the weeds of worry choke the sprouts. Do not let the birds of doubt steal what I have planted. Tend the field of your heart each day with prayer, with gratitude, with holy stillness. And when the wind of my spirit passes over, the seeds will sway in the light, and you will see life spreading not only within you but around you. For I never sow for one person alone. I sow that the whole field might bloom. My child, peace does not mean you will never face storms again. True peace is standing in the midst of them and not being moved. It is like a small boat upon the sea, tossed but steady, because I am inside it. When you keep me at the center, the storm becomes mere noise. Keep your eyes on me. Remember that wind and waves still obey my voice. One word from me, and the sea grows calm. One breath from me, and the clouds break apart. Your peace does not come from circumstances, but from this truth: the Lord is here. In this season, I want you to learn how to sow not only with your hands, but with your heart. Every kind word, every merciful glance, every small act of love, these are all seeds. You may not see their fruit immediately, but heaven records them all. A seed you sow today may bloom years from now in someone's memory when they recall your kindness or a gentle word you once spoke. Do not measure by numbers, my child, for I measure by faithfulness. And when you sow in peace, you are sowing into my kingdom, where nothing is ever lost. This season will be different. My sun is rising over your field. My gentle wind is blowing across the newly turned soil. Go now, my child, step onto the field with joy and begin to sow again. Not with the tears of fear, but with the tears of hope. Let your smile be the evidence that you still believe I am working, even when you see no result. For I, the Lord of the harvest, will bring your season in its appointed time, not early, not late, but perfectly. And when that day comes, you will stand in the midst of a field in full bloom and hear the wind singing the song of rejoicing. You will look back on the long nights and say, "The Lord has done marvelous things for me." Then you will understand that every seed you planted, every step you took, every prayer you whispered, all were threads woven into the tapestry of miracles. You will know that nothing was ever lost. Everything was being completed. Take your seeds in hand, breathe in peace, and step forward. The season of sowing has begun, and I go before you. Do not worry about the harvest that is my part. Yours is to trust, to love, and to sow. And I promise you, my child, the harvest will come abundant and radiant, for I am the Lord of the seasons, my beloved child. When my peace dwells within you, you are not only one who rests, you become one who carries peace. Every step you take carries the breath of heaven. Every word you speak carries the sound of life. I have placed within you an invisible current, a stream that cools dry ground, a soft wind that disperses the clouds of fear. My beloved, I call you to be a carrier of my atmosphere in a world drowning in unrest. You are not just one who lives in peace, you are one who sows peace. The world hungers for peace more than ever. People seek it in wealth, in power, in relationships, but all they find is a fragile illusion. True peace does not rise from what humans build, but from my presence alone. That is why I send you not to persuade, but to be present. The moment you enter, the space around you will change. Not because of grand words, but because I am within you. You need not carry the force of a warrior, carry instead the gentleness of grace. For true peace does not fight for position. It simply spreads like light, quietly pushing back the dark. You are not the source of peace, you are its vessel. The source remains in me. Return to me each day. Drink from the well of my presence, so that you do not run dry along the way. When you go out, go overflowing. You cannot pour what you have not received. So let your heart be filled before you go. Come to me when you are weary, and I will fill you again. Do not try to sustain the flame by your own strength, for the oil that keeps it burning comes only from me. When you abide in me, you will never lack. When you drift from me, you will find yourself empty, even in doing good. Go forth, my child, like a healing breeze. Speak with gentleness, listen with compassion, see with eyes of grace. When you meet a weary soul, do not rush to instruct, simply be there. When you meet one filled with anger, do not argue, be silent. When you meet one in despair, do not fill the air with empty words, pray. For peace is not carried by speech, but by spirit. Sometimes a look, a touch, or a quiet smile is enough for me to reach them. You do not need much, only to be full of me. The world will not always welcome you. Some will receive your peace with joy, while others will reject it. Do not lose heart. When you enter a place, speak peace. If they receive it, peace will rest there. If they refuse it, peace will return to you. True peace is never lost, it simply finds where it belongs. Do not waste your words arguing with those unwilling to hear. Let me handle their hearts. Your task is to sow faithfully, for every blessing spoken will bloom in its own season. I want every step you take to be guided by my Spirit, for not every road is yours to travel. There are places you are called to enter, and places you are called to leave. My peace within you will be your compass. When you step off course, peace will depart. When you are where I want you, you will feel that deep stillness in your soul. Learn to listen to the voice of peace that is the language of the Holy Spirit. When you learn to speak that language, you will no longer worry about what to do, what to say, or where to go. Peace will lead you day by day, as the pillar of cloud and fire once led my people. Walk gently without fear. The world may roar with storms, but you are surrounded by my peace. As Jesus slept in the storm, so can you rest in me, even when the winds rage. When you live this way, people will look at you and ask, "Why are you not afraid?" And then you will answer, "Because I know who is with me." That is how you will testify, not with arguments, but with unshakable peace. For true peace is heaven's proof upon the earth. Be beloved, I give you peace, not as the world gives. The world's peace comes and goes, mine abides forever. It does not depend on conditions, but on presence. It is not based on what you control, but on the one who controls all. When you live in me, you will see that even when everything around you collapses, you can still smile because you know everything is in my hands. When you carry my peace, you will have the strength to love the unlovable, patience for the difficult, and steadfastness for your calling in a trembling world. My beloved child, I have given you feet, not only to walk, but to carry the good news of peace. Every step you take is a silent sermon. When you walk into your workplace, I am there. When you sit beside a stranger, I am there. When you embrace the one who weeps, I am there. Do not think you need a pulpit to preach. You yourself are my living pulpit. The world does not need another speech, it needs to see peace. Let your life be a gentle hymn of trust, so that every step you take writes another line of my story. Do not forget to sow peace, even in the places that once wounded you. It is there that your peace carries its greatest healing power. When you return to the old places where there were tears, disappointments, and loss, you will see that I have turned them into holy ground. You no longer tremble when remembering them, for my peace has covered them. Become a keeper of the gates of peace, one who opens the door for the lost and weary. Invite them to come with you, to rest under the shade of grace. Tell them, there is a place where fear dissolves, where wounds are soothed, where the soul is at rest. That place is where he dwells. I declare that your footsteps will bear the marks of heaven. You will walk not in fear, but in authority. Every place you step, I will bless. Every word you speak in peace, I will affirm. Every time you intercede with a pure heart, I will answer. Your peace is not only for you, but for the world around you. For this world is aching for carriers of peace, not merely talkers of it. My beloved child, you have learned to live in peace, but now I want you to understand the power of peace. It is not passive silence. It is not avoidance or surrender. My peace is the highest spiritual force, the weapon that causes darkness to collapse without the clash of swords. Peace is the mark of true power, power that does not boast because it flows from the presence of the Almighty. When you stand in peace, you stand in my power. The world cannot comprehend this strength. They believe that one must shout to have authority, fight to win, grasp to survive. But I tell you, in the stillness of peace, all heaven moves. When you stand still in me, angels act, doors open, and storms cease. Peace is not the absence of battle, it is my presence within the battle. When you keep peace, you keep your post in the heavenly ranks. Remember that night when I slept in the boat amid the storm while my disciples trembled in fear. They thought I was indifferent, but I was revealing a law of heaven. No storm can swallow the place where peace abides. When I rose, no incantation was needed. Only 3 words, "Be still," and the wind and waves obeyed. My child, that same authority dwells in you. When you speak with peace, the enemy retreats. When you pray with peace, walls fall. When you live with peace, you are no longer ruled by the world, you reshape the spiritual atmosphere around you. Look at Daniel in the lion's den. He did not shout, plead, or panic. He simply sat in peace, and I shut the mouths of lions. His peace became an invisible shield that turned death away. So it is with you. When you dwell in peace, I build around you a fortress the world cannot breach. No power of darkness can touch a soul at rest in me. Peace is the unseen wall of the righteous. The enemy fears peace more than loud prayers. He cannot exist in the holy quiet. He thrives on chaos to spread fear, on noise to distract minds, on division to weaken faith. But when you dwell in peace, he loses his footing. Peace is heaven's territory where darkness has no jurisdiction. Every time you remain calm in adversity, you declare, I trust the sovereignty of God more than the force of circumstances. That declaration strikes the enemy's heart, for he feeds on the panic you refuse to give him. Peace not only protects you, it heals. When you bring peace into a room, anxious hearts settle. When you pray in peace, fevers subside, restless minds quiet. When you touch others with a heart full of peace, they encounter me through you. Peace is heaven's current. It needs no sound, no ceremony, only a heart that obeys. Learn to wage war through peace. Do not answer anger with anger. Do not try to win arguments with words, but with the authority of stillness. When you remain silent in peace, I will speak for you. When you withdraw from the noise, I will act in your stead. Let others shout, you abide in me. For in stillness I raise the wind, and in peace I work wonders. The world seeks strength in noise, but I give strength in silence. Consider Job. He lost everything, yet still declared, I know that my Redeemer lives. That was the summit of peace, a soul choosing faith in the ashes. When you proclaim trust, amid ruin all of hell trembles. Peace is never weakness. It is the steadfast voice of a soul who knows to whom it belongs. Peace is the song of one who has seen me in the storm and knows that I remain. My beloved child, when I said, blessed are the peacemakers, I was not speaking of those who merely avoid conflict, but of those who bring peace into the midst of division. You are called to be an instrument of that peace. Step into the places where strife reigns, and let my peace flow through you. You do not need to change anyone, simply keep your heart still. Like a river carving through stone, peace will wear down even the hardest hearts. When you sow peace, you are sowing heaven into the earth. Peace is not only a reward, it is both weapon and calling. Wear it as armor, wield it as a sword, breathe it as air. When the enemy strikes, do not respond with fear. Stand firm in peace. When people misunderstand you, let peace answer for you. When storms rise, sit beside me and remember I am Lord over the storm. When you do this, you will see that no storm can take away what peace has guarded. My peace is not fragile. It is enduring as the rock, deep as the sea. It cannot be stirred by the words or actions of men. It belongs to eternity, for it flows from me, the unchanging one. The closer you draw to me, the less you will be moved by what sways the world. That my child is true power to be within the current, yet never carried away. Now I say to you, let my peace become the center of all you do. Let it guide your words, your decisions, and your steps. When you live from that source, you will never run dry. Peace does more than protect the soul, it nourishes it. Let it be your breath, that you may speak life, carry hope, and walk in my light. When others see you calm in the storm, they will ask, what keeps you standing? And you will say, not my strength, but his presence. Then I will be glorified, and you will become living proof to the world that peace is not a dream, it is heaven made visible on earth. My beloved, the harvest has come. The The seeds you once planted with tears are now blooming in the dawn of eternity. You have walked through fire, through storm, through endless night, but now as the sun of righteousness rises, you will see every tear transformed into a shining pearl, every silent prayer answered with new life. I have counted every step, every weary breath, every sigh unheard by men. Nothing you have endured was in vain, for I, the Lord of the harvest, have remembered it all. I am the Lord of the seasons. No seed I give ever falls to the ground without the promise of growth. When you thought the seed had died, it was breaking open to multiply. When you mistook silence for delay, it was the deep sigh of the earth preparing for life. Now, my child, lift your eyes for the fields before you are golden under grace. Look, what you prayed for has begun to bear fruit. What you thought buried forever is rising in my hands. The harvest does not come through striving, but through trust. This season is not merely the reward of your faithfulness, it is the revelation of why glory through your life. I want the world to see that I still work, that my promises never fail. Others will look at you and know that I am faithful. They will say, "The Lord has done great things for this one." And you will smile not with pride but with reverence, knowing that all glory belongs to me. The harvest is not to exalt your name, but to magnify mine. You have sown in the night, but you will reap in the light. You have wept in solitude, but you will sing among the multitudes. I saw when you chose forgiveness over resentment, silence over self-defense, faith over surrender. Each time you planted a seed of heaven, and now heaven responds with radiant abundance. You reap not only for yourself, but for every soul touched by your journey. You have become a bearer of grace's grain, sharing the bread of life with the hungry around you. The harvest is not given so that you may rest, but that you may give. Every blessing you receive carries a purpose to overflow. Let grace flow through you like a river from the temple, watering the parched lands. Do not hoard what I give. Pour it out freely. Remember, the true measure of harvest is not the count of fruit, but the number of hearts awakened. When you use your blessings to lift others, you expand my kingdom. My beloved child, I know there were moments when you wondered whether your labor meant anything at all. But now you see no act of goodness has ever escaped my remembrance. You thought you planted only a small seed, yet I have made it grow into a great tree that shelters many. Every kind word, every embrace, every whispered intercession, I have woven them together into works far beyond what you imagined. My child, I will never forget, and now I return to you in abundance. Look at the field before you. It is more than a symbol of blessing. It is a covenant between you and me. I promised those who sow in tears shall reap with songs of joy. Psalm 1, 2, 6, 5. And today that promise is fulfilled in you. Each stalk of grain is a testimony of my faithfulness. Each breeze that ripples through the field is my whisper, I have done what I said. My child, I rejoice with you. Heaven rejoices with you, for you finished the race and did not give up. This glorious harvest is not an ending, it is the dawn of a new commissioning. From this very field I will send you farther. You will not only reap, you will sow again. Every harvest in me becomes a seedbed for another, for my love never stops flowing. You are blessed not to store, but to pour. Let the river within you keep flowing, for many dry lands still wait. Remember where you began. Remember the night you prayed in tears when everything seemed lost. That is where I planted the first seed of the miracle. Now as you look back, be thankful for darkness, taught you to cherish light, fire, taught you to shine, and loneliness taught you compassion. Nothing was wasted. Every chapter of your journey is part of the masterpiece I am painting with eternal colors. This harvest is proof that my word never returns void. When you obeyed even in the smallest step, I began a chain of miracles. Now you walk in the very answers you once prayed for. But remember, do not let the blessing eclipse the blesser. Amid joy, keep your heart lifted that I may continue to lead you. My harvest does not make you proud, it makes you humble, for you know it was all grace. Rejoice. Sing among the fields of grace. Lift your head, for I have turned your mourning into dancing, your garments of sorrow into robes of praise. Live in that joy, not as one who merely receives, but as one who remembers that every sheaf in your arms is proof that the Lord is good, and his mercy endures forever. And when the evening breeze passes, I will remind you this is only the beginning. For ahead of you awaits an even greater harvest, not of personal blessing, but of my kingdom, when I will use you to bring many souls home. Keep your heart humble, your hands ready, your eyes fixed on me, for the glory has not ended. It has only begun. My beloved, too full, now sing, for the season of tearful rest has ended. Your voice no longer trembles with fear, but carries the tone of one who has seen the miracle. I hear your song rising from the depths, not loud nor proud, but radiant like incense rising to my throne. For the most beautiful song is not the one sung in comfort, but the melody born amid ruins and reborn from ashes. I have seen you sing, while your heart still ached, sing, when the path ahead was hidden. Sing while your hands still held seeds wet with tears. That song moves heaven itself. For when a soul sings in the trial, it is more than music, it is faith declared aloud. It is the voice of one who has seen me in the night and knows that light never dies. The song of the reaper is not mere praise, it is the record of the soul. Each note a testimony, each melody a trace of grace. In your song I hear the echoes of years past, when you prayed while weak, loved while misunderstood, and stayed when alone. Every moment added a note to the eternal hymn I am composing within you. Now that hymn rises, not written by your hand, but sung by my spirit through you. Do not keep that song for yourself. Let it carry life to others. When you sing in peace, hearts will rest. When you sing in faith, weary souls will rise. When you praise amid trial, darkness will recede. Some will not understand how you can sing through pain, but then they will know you do not sing from emotion, but from the spirit of life within. Sing not for performance, but to release healing. Sing to show the world that I am the Lord of resurrection, the one who turns mourning into joy. Do not worry who hears, for heaven is already singing with you. Every time you lift your voice, angels join in, and even the wind on earth carries the echo of glory. The song of the reaper is union between you and me. When you sing, you step into heaven's frequency, where there is no fear, no bitterness, only love and radiance. In that harmony, you are no longer alone. You become the echo of eternity. Like David singing in the wilderness, like Paul singing in prison, you sing because you know I am near. That song breaks chains, not just yours, but those of the hopeless around you. When you sing in the fire will not consume you. It will amplify your voice. When you sing through tears, the tears will not drown the melody. They will purify its tone. When you sing through the night, the darkness cannot silence the light, for the light shines from within you. Your song need not be perfect. It need only be true. For what I seek is not sound, but heart. My beloved child, let your song become an unending prayer. Sing while you work. Sing when you grow weary. Sing in the stillness. Let every breath you draw rise as a note before me. When your heart abides in praise, you will see the very atmosphere around you begin to change. Where there is song, there will be light. Where there is light, there will be healing. For praise shatters the chains of sorrow and opens the gates for heavenly joy to enter. The reaper sings not because he forgets the past, but because he understands it. You do not sing because you never wept. You sing because you now see that tears were the overture of an eternal symphony. When you sing, you are not only saying thank you for what you've done, but also declaring, I know you are still working. Your song is the proclamation that the miracle continues. Do not let the world steal your song. Do not let exhaustion dim the fire of praise. When your soul feels heavy, lift your head and remember your melody is not of this world, it is of heaven. Open your mouth and sound will return. Sing on the days you think you cannot, for in those moments your song carries its greatest power. Remember, the enemy does not tremble at shouting, but he shudders before the song of an unbroken soul. I rejoice when you sing. That sound touches me more deeply than any choir of angels. Among the countless voices of heaven, yours carries a tone, unlike any other, the tone of one who was once shattered and has been made whole by my hands. When you sing, I smile and all of heaven vibrates in harmony. Your song becomes the heartbeat of the celestial realm, where love and redemption meet in one perfect note. So sing until the night is gone. Sing until every burden falls away. Sing until your heart becomes as light as the wind. And when you breathe your final note in this world, you will hear me singing back the song that never ends, the eternal hymn of love, where you and I are joined forever, never again to part. My beloved, that day is coming, the day when the sun shall never set, when light will never again be shadowed by darkness, when you will see me face to face, not through a dim mirror, nor through whispers of wind, but in the blazing glory of eternity. My child, this journey has never been in vain. Every tear, every wound, every night, you lifted your eyes and cried out, all have led to the dawn of forever. I have been with you from the first breath that broke the silence. I have watched over you through every season, every mile, every moment. You thought of yourself alone, but not one heartbeat of your life has been beyond my reach. I was there in every pulse of your heart, every drop of blood, every sigh. I was there when you laughed, and I was there when you wept. I was there when your faith felt faint, and I was the small flame that refused to die within your soul. Now that flame is about to merge with my everlasting light. You have walked through the night not to be lost, but to learn to recognize the light. You have passed through the fire not to be consumed, but to learn to shine. You have fallen not to be destroyed, but to know the strength of my hand lifting you up. Everything you have lived, sweet or bitter, has been a note in the eternal symphony I am weaving for your soul. And when you look back, you will see no passage was wasted, no wound without purpose, no tear without redemption. This world is but morning mist, a bridge between time and eternity. Do not fear when the things of earth fade, for it only means you are nearing the true light. One day, when every noise falls silent, you will hear my voice clear, near and gentle, calling your name. I will say, my child, it is time to come home. And you will cross the threshold of time into the land where there is no night. There no tears will fall, no parting will wound, no pain will remain, no fear will linger. Every hurt will be wiped away by my own hand. Every scar upon your soul will gleam like a pearl, telling the story of redemption. You will see the ones you loved who went before you, and in their eyes you will recognize my light. And I, whom you sought in silence, whom you loved in the unseen, will stand waiting, arms open wide. All I have done has been born of love. Every delay, every trial, every silence was a stone placed to build the bridge that leads you home. You will see that I never abandoned you, not once. What you thought was loss was exchange. What you mistook for ending was beginning. For in me there is no end, only continuation in light. My child, eternity does not begin when you die. It begins the moment you choose to believe me. The instant you said yes, eternal light began to flicker within you. And now, as you live upon this earth, you already carry the seed of heaven inside. So do not fear the passing of time, for every day you live, in love, in prayer, in gratitude, is a day you draw closer to heaven itself. My beloved child, I want you to live as one who has seen glory. Speak with the voice of hope. Look through the eyes of mercy. Walk as one who knows that your ending is not ruin but triumph. When eternity lives within you, all earthly things become light as mist, and you will no longer be swayed by the changing winds. For you know your destination is not ashes but light. In the dawn of eternity, you will hear a song that never ceases. It echoes through all the heavens, the voices of those who have overcome, the redeemed, the multitude singing as one glory belongs to the Lamb. Then you will join their song, and the melody you once sang through the night will rise through heaven, woven into the great symphony of forever. And I will look upon you, smile, and say, "You have kept the faith, you have finished the race. Now enter into the joy of your Lord. Know this, my child, every path I draw leads toward the light. Though there are turns, steep climbs, and stretches of solitude, they all lead to me. None are lost who still listen for my voice. Until the day you see me in glory, keep your heart anchored in peace. Let that peace be your lamp in the darkness, and even when the night feels long, you will know the dawn is near. I say to you, stand firm, for your reward is in my hand. Sing, for the night is over. Rejoice, for the morning has come. You are no longer one waiting for a miracle. You are the miracle made manifest. You are the witness of love that cannot fade, the reflection of my glory shining in the world. As you walk through the final days of your earthly pilgrimage, step gently as one who already knows the way home, for at the end of the road I am waiting. When you close your eyes for the last time on this earth, you will open them in a light that never dims. No more boundaries of time, no more weariness of the flesh, only you and me joined in everlasting communion. I will wipe away your tears and say, "It is finished. Now you are home." And you will understand every word I ever spoke was true, every promise I ever made, fulfilled, every act of love unwavering. My child, the eternal dawn has begun to rise. Step into it and rest in me. For this is your home, and I am the light everlasting. Thank you for listening to today's message. Remember to subscribe and turn on notifications so we can continue walking together in the living Word, growing in faith, standing firm in hope, and abiding forever in the boundless love of Christ. Amen.